Well, hey there. Welcome to Movie Review Mom. I'm the mom and I do the movie reviews. If you've never visited my channel before, yay, I'm so glad you found me. My goal is to give you the inside scoop on filmmaking quality and content so that you can make the best decision as to whether or not you want to spend time or money or both watching a specific film. And if you are a returning subscriber, yay, thank you so much for coming back. Hopefully my reviews help you. That's my goal. So today the movie I'm reviewing is called Savage Salvation. This drug-filled revenge movie is now available to rent or buy on streaming services like Apple TV Plus, but it's also available for free on Amazon Prime if you have that. I actually filmed this review about 2 weeks ago or so, and didn't realize that there was no audio. So we're doing this all over again. So this is a movie that came out last month. It's rated R and is an hour and 41 minutes long. My overall movie review mom grade is a C, or I don't know which direction you're seeing that in. But let me explain why. So first, I'll give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things that I liked and didn't like, as well as offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, interesting lines and funny lines if there are any, and recommendations for other films that I think that you'll like if you like this one or that you might like better than this one. All right, so in a nutshell, this is what the story is about. Sheriff Church, who's played by Robert De Niro, and Detective Zeppelin strive to keep the peace in their rough town where residents' only two interests are the church or oxycodone. Newly engaged Shelby John, who's played by Jack Houston, and Ruby Red that's his girlfriend, want a fresh start. They decide to have a family together and get clean with the support of Peter, Ruby's brother-in-law, who's played by John Malkovich. Yeah, we've got some big name actors in this movie, right? However, Shelby discovers his beloved Ruby dead on their porch before she could fulfill her final wish, which was to be baptized in the river and have her sins washed away. Filled with fiery rage, Shelby embarks on a vengeful killing spree to right all the wrong done to Ruby by every link in the drug dealing chain. Armed with nothing but adrenaline and a nail gun, Shelby picks off dealers and junkies one by one until he gets to the top. Sheriff Church and Detective Zeppelin must race against the clock to put an end to Shelby's vigilante justice before his fight with the crime lord Coyote, who's played by Quavo, turns the entire town into a bloodbath. Well, that's got to be like one of the longest descriptions I've ever seen a studio submit. So if you enjoy vigilante justice movies, I think you'll probably like this one. The problem with vigilante justice movies is that you usually feel like you've been swimming in the gutter for about an hour and a half after you finished watching them. So the movie was directed by Randall Emmett, and the screenplay was written by Adam Taylor, Barker, and Chris Syvertson. All right, so here's the list of things that I liked. First of all, who doesn't love Robert De Niro? His face on the poster definitely caught my attention. He and John Malkovich both do a good job, but I think that their talents are mostly wasted in this predictable movie. The movie also features the awesome Dale Dickey. If you want to see her fantastic performance in a leading role, check out the movie that she recently did just a couple of months ago called A Love Song. Jack Houston also does a good job in this very dramatic role as the boyfriend who tries to hunt down the drug dealers whose products killed his girlfriend. He's believable, I would say. I really liked the soundtrack and the musical choices, which is funny because I've read reviews where people said they liked the movie, but they didn't like the musical choices. So comment down below. Let me know what you thought of it. There's a sense of satisfaction for sure as you get to see these scumbag drug dealers get what's coming to them. All right, so now for the list of things that I didn't like or just thought could have been done better. Some characters speak in such low, garbled Southern voices that it's really hard to understand what's being said. Sadly, I could almost never understand what Robert De Niro said. Most of the time he was like, And I'm like, Robert, what are you doing? So this would be a great movie to watch when it goes to streaming with captions. You know what I mean? Now, acts 1 and 2 are very slow moving while we watch people do drugs and get super sick. Hopefully, this movie will be an effective cautionary tale for people who are considering getting into drugs by getting a very realistic look at the awful consequences. There are some very contrived, hokey moments. Some of the characters seem more like exaggerated cartoon characters than people we truly get to know. Other than the couple, I think we get to know them a little bit more, but everybody else is pretty paper thin, I would say. Now, let me give you some tips for parents. First of all, there's tons of profanity and about 1 million F-bombs. There's blood and gore, violence with multiple weapons, high dead body count with brutal deaths, cigarettes. I mean, that's very light in comparison. Lots of alcohol. We see drug paraphernalia. We see people shoot up drugs in their arm. We see someone throw up. That's always fun. We see a young woman in just her underwear doing drugs, of course. We see a couple go at it. This time they're wearing clothes. They're in a public park, and you're like, okay, I know what's happening. Why do we need to see this? And we see a lot of dead bodies. So some of the themes that are illustrated well are choices and consequences. And I think we don't often see enough of the consequences of people's bad choices in movies. You know, if there's an action sequence, somebody who clearly should be dead just gets out of the crumpled car and walks away, you know, because he's a tough guy. Other themes are revenge, drugs and drug dealers, of course, vigilante justice, and family. All right, so whenever I watch movies, I always write down lines that I think are funny or interesting, just so I can share them with you so you can get a taste for the dialogue. Now, in this movie, it's not a comedy, so I didn't write down anything funny, but I did write down a couple of interesting lines. I'll share them with you right now, but you can see other stuff on my written review at moviereviewmom.com. All right, so this is, I guess you could say, a funny line in the movie. So Jess, who's played by Lindsay Pulsifer, she's the girlfriend. She's going into a friend's house. You know, she's knocking on the door. I think she knocks and she says to her friend, "Are you decent?" And her friend laughs and says, "Only sometimes," because she walks out and she's pregnant, you know. And then an interesting line is spoken by John Malkovich. His character is Peter, and he says, "We all struggle, but it's the way we confront those struggles that define us." And that's a good line with some wisdom. I'm not going to give you any spoilers on his character or plot points there, but I did think that that was a good line. Comment down below if you agree or disagree with his wisdom. All right, now, while I was watching this movie, I instantly thought of another movie. It's called Cherry, and it came out just last year, 2021. The reason I thought of it is because we spend a large portion of the movie watching Spider-Man get drugged out. Well, Tom Holland. He does an excellent job, I thought. I mean, we're used to seeing him as the playful young Spider-Man. And in this movie, he goes down into the gutter. He comes home after serving in the military and really struggles with that re-entry, trying to live the civilian life. And so he gets into drugs, and we just see all of these horrible mistakes that he makes and how difficult that is. And anyway, I don't want to give you any spoilers about that, but if you're interested in watching that journey and that lifestyle, then you might be interested in that. And like I said, I thought he gave an excellent performance, very dramatic. All right, that is it. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel. And it always helps my YouTube channel to grow every time you subscribe, of course, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But anytime you just like the video or comment down below, YouTube takes notice and they think, oh, this must be a good channel. I'll tell other movie fans about it. And be sure and tell your fans or your friends and subscribers if you have some. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.